The United States of America stands as the preeminent empire in human history, boasting unrivaled power and influence despite not holding the largest territorial expanse. None have matched its capacity to extend authority globally. Economically, the USA has consistently held the position of the world's largest economy since the 1890s, achieving unprecedented growth over the past century and a half. Its currency, the US dollar, serves as the primary reserve currency worldwide. Moreover, the American government, one of the longest-running regimes globally, commands around 30% of global wealth and contributes significantly to global manufacturing output. Despite comprising only 5% of the contemporary human population, augmenting its economic prowess is the USA's formidable military strength, which accounts for nearly 40% of global military spending. The U.S. Navy alone commands half of the world's naval fleet. With over 750 military bases spread across various regions, the USA possesses the capability to swiftly respond to threats anywhere on the planet within 48 hours. While multiple factors contribute to America's unparalleled global influence, the primary catalyst lies in the geographical and geological advantages inherent to the North American continent. Indeed, the geographical and geological features of North America confer extraordinary advantages for civilization building. These advantages are so overwhelmingly pronounced that they surpass those of any other starting point for civilization on Earth. Regardless of demographic composition or ideological orientation, any civilization emerging from the same geographical context as the United States would inevitably ascend to global dominance. Allow me to delve deeper into the reasons behind this assertion. At the core of America's global dominance lies North America's extensive network of navigable rivers, barrier islands, and natural harbors. The Mississippi River, flanked by the Rocky and Appalachian Mountains, intertwines with significant tributaries like the Illinois, Ohio, and Arkansas rivers, facilitating smooth navigation for centuries. Economically, control over the Mississippi River offers immense benefits. Establishments along its stretch benefit from affordable export routes to global markets. Additionally, it forms the backbone of a network of navigable rivers within the basin, transforming inland settlements into economically viable ports. North America's network of barrier islands along the Gulf and East Coasts further enhances maritime connectivity. These islands create protected bays, traversable as an oceanic river from Texas to Maryland, complementing the Mississippi River's internal waterways. The continent's exceptional natural harbors, including Chesapeake Bay and Puget Sound, offer unparalleled potential for port development, solidifying North America's maritime dominance. The inclusion of the Great Lakes as an internal navigable waterway enhances inland transportation, further connecting cities to oceanic ports. However, strategic vulnerabilities in the Mississippi Basin, particularly concerning New Orleans, underscore the importance of safeguarding key strategic points along its waterways. One strategy is to take advantage of Cuba's strategic significance, arguably the most crucial among the uncontrolled or minimally influenced pieces on the North American chessboard. Positioned to protrude into the Gulf of Mexico, Cuba creates two vital straits, funneling all maritime traffic through either the Florida Straits in the north or the Yucatan Strait in the south. While Cuba alone lacks the capacity to effectively utilize its strategic position against America's trade routes connecting New Orleans, the Mississippi Basin, the Intracoastal Waterway, and the global ocean, it becomes a potential threat when aligned with a major foreign power. This risk was vividly demonstrated in the early 1960s during the Cuban Missile Crisis when the Soviet Union deployed nuclear missiles and troops there, presenting a plausible scenario where Cuba could serve as a launchpad for attacks on America's critical geographic assets. Another significant vulnerability lies paradoxically within the Mississippi River itself, which has shown a persistent tendency to change its course over time. Historically, the river has meandered, resulting in shifting deltas along the Louisiana Gulf Coast. In the 1970s, the river was on the verge of altering its course, potentially bypassing present-day New Orleans and Baton Rouge. leading to economic calamity by isolating existing river-based infrastructure and depriving communities of fresh water. To prevent this crisis, the United States Army Corps of Engineers constructed the $2 billion-old river control structure in Vidalia, Louisiana, forcing the river to maintain its current trajectory. However, if this structure were to fail in the future, the Mississippi River would abruptly redirect its path, inundating vast industrial and agricultural infrastructure and disrupting the Mississippi Basin's transportation network until new infrastructure could be established. Moreover, the geographic features of North America mitigate the risk of regional rivals emerging to challenge the United States. Similarly, Canada's vast Canadian Shield impedes economic connectivity between its core cities and western provinces, reducing reliance on America's superior transportation network. Consequently, North America's core region benefits from unparalleled productivity and secure isolation, shielded from major geopolitical threats by vast oceans and impassable terrain. This geographical advantage, combined with naval dominance and abundant natural resources, safeguards the United States from invasion and consolidates its status as a continental-scale island empire. Another pivotal factor contributing to the contemporary might of the United States is the abundant geological resources of North America. For decades, concerns about over-reliance on foreign nations for energy loomed large in the strategic planning of America. Despite once being the world's foremost oil producer and exporter during the early 20th century, supplying a significant portion of oil used by World War II allies, the nation's dominance in oil production seemed to wane by the mid-1970s. Rapidly increasing demand outstripped production in the post-World War II economic boom, leading to a situation where, by 1973, over a third of the country's oil supply was imported. This vulnerability was laid bare when OPEC, comprising nations from the Middle East, Africa, and Venezuela, imposed an oil embargo on the United States in response to its support of Israel during the Yom Kippur War, causing energy prices to soar. However, the early 21st century witnessed a revolution in the domestic oil and gas industry that reshaped this narrative. Technological advancements in drilling, particularly hydraulic fracturing or fracking, unlocked the vast potential of shale rock formations for oil and gas extraction. Beginning in Texas in the late 1990s, discoveries in regions like the Barnett and Permian basins revealed previously untapped oil and gas reserves, transforming the state into a global energy powerhouse. Texas alone now accounts for 45% of the nation's domestic oil production and rivals major oil-producing nations like Saudi Arabia and Russia. Moreover, other regions such as the Bakken Field in North Dakota, offshore fields in the Gulf of Mexico, the North Slope of Alaska, and the Marcellus Field spanning multiple states in the Northeast further bolstered domestic energy production. These discoveries tripled estimated natural gas reserves between 2002 and 2019, with the United States emerging as the second-largest exporter of natural gas globally, behind only Russia. This newfound energy independence significantly reduced the country's vulnerability to foreign oil embargoes and disruptions in global energy supply chains. While the United States continues to import oil, primarily from Canada and Mexico, the reliance on outside sources has diminished considerably. The extensive network of pipelines and refineries across the continent ensures a robust domestic energy infrastructure, further enhancing the nation's resilience to external threats. However, despite these strengths, the United States remains entangled in global geopolitics, particularly in regions like the Middle East, due to its interconnectedness with the global economy. While the shale revolution has mitigated some risks, disruptions in oil supply from key regions could still have significant repercussions on the world economy. The country's involvement in conflicts like the Gulf War and the War on Terror underscores the complex interplay between energy security and foreign policy. In conclusion, while the United States has achieved a remarkable degree of energy independence, it remains interconnected with the wider world, especially in regions critical to global energy markets. The shale revolution has reshaped the geopolitical landscape, but the nation's influence and vulnerabilities extend beyond its borders. reflecting the intricate dynamics of modern global affairs.